Blue Kool-Aid coming at you. I'm going to try to keep this video short. I just think it's important that everybody sees this. I'm going to throw some credit Wayne Steiger's way here. Wayne Steiger. Buddy, if you watch this, thank you for putting out the video earlier. I think Rex Baird put one out on this too. I hadn't seen anybody else yet. But this is important stuff. This is relevant to what we all talk about here, guys. Before I go into that, though, real quick, my previous video on the press conference Donald Trump did about the use of the word portal, I want to clarify that he was using the word checkpoint at the beginning and then changed to the word portal at the end and was using hand gestures like making a circle. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I was trying to say that he was doing that intentionally. Okay? I think it was an unintentional thing that he said, like a Freudian slip, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it was intentional. Do I think it was relevant to what we talk about here, guys? The only way that I think that's the reason I even brought that to you guys was because most people wouldn't even pick up on that. And they may use the word portal describing those things down south at the borders. But that ain't something that we normally would use as citizens or what have you. But maybe that's what they call them. I'm sure they do at some point somewhere. But I found it odd that he used checkpoint and then switched to the word portal at the end of that press conference. Now, like I said, what caused him to do that? It could just be, like I said, just simple. I don't think he did it intentional. I think it just came out that way because he was just trying to explain to everybody why the wall was necessary, or fence, whatever you want to call it. Because it bottlenecks everybody down to a confined area and they're able to control it better. And that's what he called the portal or checkpoint. Okay, and there's other names for it too. But like I said, I don't think he did that intentionally. But the only thing that I was questioning, at least in my own mind, was he having discussions about other subjects that day or the day before, talking about certain stuff. You know, we just talked about showed the video that Mr. MBB3 showed with the Stargate looking thing was up in the sky. In that picture, where they talking about specific stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about, and it just happened to be in his at the front of his filing cabinet in his brain, and it just popped out. Okay, that's kind of what I think. Can I ever at any way, shape, or form prove that? Absolutely not. Okay, there's no way I could say, hey, yeah, that's what happened. We just can't do that. But judging by his body language, that was just something that came out. That's just my opinion. It just came out of his mouth. He didn't do it intentional. There might be difference of opinion somewhere along the line there. I'm sure there is. But that's the reason why I even made the video, guys, is to show you that, hey, sometimes that's what happens. Now, I did say something about desensitizing in the previous video. After thinking about that, I don't think that that's what he was doing. Okay? I just don't. Not now, I don't. After rewatching the video. I don't think it was done intentional. I think it was just something that came out of his mouth. And it could have been completely innocent. Alright? Most likely it probably was. But again, those words are coming out. And we're starting to use different vocabulary for stuff that we talk about here in our research that we do here on my channel. And other channels like it. So, anyway, Wayne and Rex did some videos on this, and it's at natures.com. Our magnetic north is changing faster. It's acting up, and it's changing faster. And it says right here, right there, in your face, geologists don't know why. Okay? Now, why is it important for us to know where magnetic north is? Well, let's just scroll down here. We'll read a little bit of this. I don't want to read the whole thing, obviously, because it's just kind of a... Sorry, guys. Hit the wrong button there. I thought I was already in the article. Guess I got to hit up here. Yeah, there it goes. Sorry. Anyway, Earth's magnetic field is acting up. Geologists don't know why. So, it says erratic motion of north magnetic pole forces experts to update their model faster than they thought they were going to. Okay, and here's why. Now, they were supposed to do this on January 15th. That's what it was scheduled for. But guess what? The U.S. government shutdown has pushed this back to January 30th. So if you don't think that the government shutdown, federal government shutdown, is affecting anybody like the little people, like us out here that don't work for the government, well, we might want to rethink that, because it's going to start affecting a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, it even says right up off the bat, something strange is going on at the top of the earth. Okay? It's moving. All right? Now, it kind of explains what and how our magnetic field is even produced. Okay? It says Earth's north magnetic pole has been moving away from Canada towards Siberia. Okay? It's driven by the liquid iron. Our core, it's sloshing around in there. Within the planet's core, it says the magnetic pole is moving so quickly that it has forced the world's magnetism experts into a rare move. They were not supposed to go back up here, guys, until they weren't supposed to update it until the year 2020. Well, they have to go back now, because what it is guys, it says it right here. This is why this is important to our everyday life for us. They have to update the model, because it says all underlying modern navigation systems, from ships at sea to Google Maps to our smartphones. I'm not sure how planes are navigated, if they use that at all. I'm sure they probably do it some way. But it has moved far enough now that they have to update the model, or our navigation systems are going to quit being accurate, is what I'm trying to say. They know that that's going to happen anyway, which is why they were scheduled to go there in 2020, find magnetic north, and then update the models. Well, it's moved faster than what it was supposed to. Okay? They just did this in 2015. It says the air is increasing all the time. So each day, our magnetic north is still moving. It's not going to stop moving. So the error that our navigation systems are currently having, no matter how small it is, eventually will be big. Unless they go up here, find it, and adjust our models to fix our navigation systems. Okay, now, just for people that don't know, magnetic north is different than true north. Okay, true north never changes. It's what you guys would, or a lot of people would think. You see the barber pole at the North Pole, right? That would be physical North Pole. That's not magnetic. The magnetic North Pole moves. They know this. They know it moves at a certain pace, usually. Now, things can influence it. Okay, like if our core is slowing down, or if the liquid iron in there is moving around different, finds whatever. There's a whole lot of things that can cause it. And obviously, the research I do here on this channel, I'm inclined to think that we have something else out there in space that's affecting this also. So, is all this happening at once? I think it is. I think we got a whole lot of things going on at once. Now, I'm not spreading fear here, guys, okay? Don't be afraid, because it's not going to flip tonight, okay? It's not going to be a full flip tonight. At least I don't think that there will be. There's a lot of theories, a lot of ideas and opinions out there on how fast the poles will flip once they decide to do so. Well, I think we have to keep in mind that the poles have already decided to flip. And what I mean by that, it is a natural cycle that they do this. Okay? We can go all the way back to ancient whatever. Okay? And, they had the earth spin in the opposite direction. Alright? So, has this stuff happened before? Yes. Okay? Were humans here on the earth when it happened? Don't know. Okay? We can only speculate, theorize, whatever we're doing. We can't say 100% true nothing. Okay? And that's pretty much true with any research that I'm doing here on this channel. I just want you guys to know that. And that's pretty much for everything that we research here about Planet X, even something simple as gravity, they still call gravity a theory. The theory of gravity, right? It's because it hasn't been actually because there's no way to definitively prove it. So, I mean, what I'm saying is there's always that small chance that we could be wrong. And I want you guys to look at this stuff for yourself and make up your own mind what you believe. Okay? That's I said this about my channel a lot. I want to give you guys the tools to be able to go look yourself. But I do try to explain things how I see them, and this is my opinion. And it's okay for us to have difference of opinion. It really is. We don't need to get mad. It's not personal. Okay? It's just not. I got a good friend that is not believing how I believe. Okay? Do I hold it against that person? Absolutely not. Okay? I'm the one over here with the tinfoil hat on, right? Okay? You don't have to always believe. It doesn't mean I don't love people and love those guys. I mean, our personal relationships with each other are way more important than anything we could do or say right here. Okay? Because if that ain't right, if your relationships aren't right, then it doesn't matter if we're here or not. That's what's important. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and I live by the adjective, like, I tell my kids this all the time. Don't worry about stuff you can't control. We cannot control this. All we can do is be aware and try to prepare as much as we can. Like I said, we all have our ideas and when stuff's going to happen. But none of us can say 100%. That's why I never put dates on anything. You got, there's a lot of people. Let's just take weather people, for example. They predict the weather. It's a prediction. In essence, it's a theory. Until it proves out. Okay? So they try to tell you, and when we turn the TV on and look, we kind of take that as a definite thing. Hey, yeah, it's going to rain today. Then we get mad at the, weather person when stuff isn't the way that they said it was. Well, the fact of the matter is, all along, it wasn't a definitive thing anyway. It was all a big prediction or theory, whatever you're talking about. So, there's been a lot of things that we all thought we knew that isn't the case. We can't explain why the big red spot on Jupiter went away. Can anybody, we all have our theories, but can we definitely say, hey, this is why? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay? That's why I don't speak in definitive language here, because you need to look at it with your own two eyes. You need to decide for yourself and then, live accordingly. And I want to give you guys the tools to be able to do that. And that's why I do what I do here, guys. It's just about showing you observations that don't look normal to me and giving you guys at least an avenue to be able to go look at the same stuff we do. And I try to explain things, but if I can't, I'll find somebody that can. Okay? So if you guys have questions, don't feel bad about emailing me. Throw it in the comment section. Something. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. Okay? Anyway, it says by early 2018, the world magnetic model was in trouble. They knew this back at the beginning of 2018. He said the researchers from NOAA, obviously we all know what NOAA is, and the British Geological Survey at Edinburgh had been doing their annual check of how well the model was capturing all the variations in the Earth's magnetic field. They realized that it was so inaccurate that it was about to exceed, okay, that's the key word there, exceed, here's the other key word, acceptable limit for navigational error. Okay, in other words, we were thinking we were going east and we might be going west. So, probably not that extreme, but, it just wasn't going to be accurate enough to really depend on those kind of navigation systems. So, that's the whole thing. And again, guys, the pole always wanders. It does. It moves. Moves a certain amount. It's a cycle. So, here's the map that I want to show you. Okay? This is a great article, guys. You guys really need to go over here to nature.com and check this out. Thank you, Rex and Wayne, for putting the videos out on this, because I didn't see it until it came up in my feed that you guys made a video. Wayne's video was only like 5 minutes long, and that's not like Wayne. Wayne usually is like 30 minutes to an hour, and he does the show with Dr. Albers on Monday nights. If you guys don't know who Wayne Steiger is, and most people know who Rex is also over at Leak Project. So, anyway, what I want to point out here is, guys, they started mapping this in 1831. Okay? Now, obviously they see it right here in 1900. Then 1920, it only moved this far. Okay, and then from 1920 to 1940, about the same distance. 1940 to 1960 didn't move a whole lot there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here a little bit. 1980 to 2000, that's 20 years. That distance there took 20 years, right? Now check this out. 2000 to 2010, that's half the amount of years, and it went double the distance. Okay, at this point it had moved off. In 2010, it had moved off of Greenland, or Canada, here, and out into the Arctic Circle, over the water, or ice, whatever's there. Now, 2010 to 2015, that's 5 years. That's the same distance, roughly, that it took back here 20 years to move. So it's speeding up, is what I'm trying to say. The movement's speeding up, and it's moving greater distances. It's moving towards Siberia. Now, like I said, when it does decide to flip, what's going to happen? We don't know. For sure, we all have our theories. I'm not even going to go into it, because I don't even spread. It's not about being fearful. It's just about being aware. Okay? We can only do what we can do. Have the basic essentials in case stuff does happen. We talk about that here sometimes, but I'm done with talking about gloom and doom stuff. I try not to do that anyway. But, anyway, once the poles decide to flip, is it going to take 45 minutes? 2 hours? 2 days? 2 weeks? Okay? There's a lot of theories out there. The way I look at this is, it's already decided to flip. Okay? That is a given if we really look at it the right way. It's a cycle. It does this in a cycle. I'm not sure if we can put dates on it yet, or, whatever. Obviously, this is kind of out of the ordinary, because they thought we were going to be able to wait till 2020 to update this model. But magnetic north hadn't moved too far. So, anyway, like I said, if it takes 2 hours to completely flip, our magnetics will get all cranky and water, all this kind of stuff. A lot of people, what we have to understand is that our magnetic field is generated pretty much from inside the Earth. It's the liquid metal moving around, and it helps create our magnetic field. And I think that some of the solar energy kind of keeps us strong a little bit. I think it affects it some, if I'm right there. I don't want to go too much in detail there, because I'm just not confident enough to say definitively, that's actually what's happening. But that's how I understand it. So, so when you're looking at your compass and it points north, what it's doing is it's finding magnetic north. Okay, so that's what allows us, because that's what allows us to be able to take a compass and know that we're heading, north, south, east, or west. Most of us have that basic understanding, but there's some out there that don't, and that's okay. It really is. Now, I would tend to say, I think that, the actual, I think it kind of points into the Earth a little bit. There's an angle there, and that, I'm not going to go into that, because I think they use that to try to predict some of the earthquakes and things also. Now, again, is this all tied in together? What's causing this to do this, right? They think that it's being caused from our, the metal, liquid metal that's in the Earth that's sloshing around, and it's causing some, disruptions. I think it's a little bit of both. I think we're being influenced from the outside, but I also think that sometimes inside the Earth here, we're doing some of this ourselves here on the Earth. Okay? So when we see magnetic disruptions, it's actually coming from the Earth. It doesn't have to be influenced from anything from the outside for it to react to something. Okay? It can react however it wants to react, I guess. But, I mean, And what I mean by that, and I'll just go on down here for a minute here. It says in the mid-1990s, it picked up speed. Okay? From around 15 kilometers per year to around 55 kilometers per year by 2001. Let that sink in, guys. I mean, that's a big jump. Okay? It says by 2001, it had entered the Arctic Ocean, where in 2007, a team including this guy here landed on an airplane on the sea ice in an attempt to locate the pole. How did they locate it? I'm assuming they just kind of go up there with whatever their tools are magnetically, and where it gets kind of the spot where it's just like pointing straight down, or I'm not sure exactly the specifics on it. That's how they find it. They have to physically go there. Anyway, it says it's moving towards Siberia. It's across the international date line now. I mean, that's I showed you this map. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty good distance, guys. And again, keep in mind that true north is not magnetic north. True north doesn't change. That's it's like the typical barbershop pole we see drove into the ground when we're talking about Santa Claus. Okay. But anyway, it says the fact that the pole is going faster makes this region more prone to large errors. It's talking about the North Pole there. So the geometry of Earth's magnetic field magnifies the model's errors. Okay, so yeah. It says in places where the field is changing quickly, such as the North Pole, the inaccuracy of where magnetic north is would definitely affect your navigation. Okay, we have these things called, I think it's the Southern Atlantic Anomaly, I think. We can go look at maps and stuff on a globe, and it'll show you it's got some weird anomaly magnetically where we're weak there somehow, or strong. And I think there's another one too. I think there's more than one. But sometimes the Earth has more than just, I don't want to call them more than one magnetic field, but I'll go into that later. I need to research that a little bit more. Basically, it'd be like having 4 different magnetic fields at one time, and it's I've seen graphs and I've seen other people talk about it. I need to research that and bring that to you guys. But they were going to go back in 2020 to update this model, right? Well, they have to go back sooner now. So anyway, this kind of explains why they think this is happening. I'm not going to go into all that right now. The fact is, it is happening. So, now I'm going to take you guys over here to my gallery here. I'm gonna start here, okay? Now you guys know I show this all the time. This is our magnetic field. Now we've seen these signatures a few times, but this is still very, very odd. Okay, what's causing this? These little fingers and stuff coming out here. Obviously our magnetic north's moving, so magnetically, which affects our magnetic field, is going to change. You're going to have some sort of effect, right? So, then you see this. This is really odd. You want to start factoring in CERN and all those kinds of things. There's a lot of factors here that we could really be screwing ourselves up pretty bad. But, this is some weird anomaly stuff. Okay, it just is. This isn't something that we should be seeing. Then you see this. Now, this one here. Okay, why I took a screenshot of this one is we talk about the Earth being a capacitor, right? Now, a capacitor stores energy and it releases it when told to, or it gets or it can't hold anymore, then it releases it. Okay, that's how they act in a machine. Okay, I know that because I worked on a lot of plastic printing machines. That's what I did for my living for over 20 years. But anyway, the sun's over here, right? Well, you don't see any energy really coming from this direction right here. Okay, so why are we seeing this? Okay, and you're seeing like circles that's not even touching each other. Now, what I want you guys to kind of keep in mind, this right here is how I would explain it. You take a rock, you throw it in the water, Okay, what's it do? You know, it ripples out, right? Well, that's kind of what happens when the stuff releases. Okay, so this is coming from the Earth doing this, which is why we see almost perfect circles, okay, inside of this. That's our shield against the sun there. Okay, this is all inside that. Nothing's coming from the outside here. So the disruption's coming from in here somewhere. Something's causing this. Now, we could have like I said, I've always talked about a third magnet, which would be another planetary body or something, a stellar core, something out there causing our magnetics. And if you add a third magnet, you know, you guys can do this experiment at home. Get two magnets, you know, and they either push away from each other or they, you know, attract to each other. But you add a third magnet, you got a lot of more problems there, okay, to try to figure out. Just do that one time. Grab 3 decent little magnets and try to get them all near each other and watch how chaotic it becomes. Okay? That's my point there. Now this. Okay, this isn't something we've really been... I seen this a couple weeks ago and it's been happening every so often now. We see this right here. Okay? Now, you know, we get this magnetic field out here. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But look at this one. That's pretty daggone symmetrical, guys. Alright? I mean, just all normal? I really just don't know. I don't think it is, guys. It's my opinion. Okay? I'm not going to try to change your guys' mind. I just want you guys to go look at this stuff for yourself. And really try to make an educated, you know, as educated as you can get on this, you know, and I'm nowhere near close to being educated to try to even say that I'm any kind of authority on any of this. So when I try to tell you guys things here about how I believe, it's all it is, guys. I want you guys to understand that it's observations is what I'm showing. Okay? I can show you when I see something that isn't normal. Now, can I explain why it isn't normal? Sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't. And the more I get help from other people, other channel creators, other subs, the better and the more knowledge I got. Okay, and I think that's where we all have to be. We have to have an open mind enough to be able to change what we believe. Okay? If it's the truth, if we actually think it's the truth. I've changed my mind a couple times on a lot of different issues. Okay? Because, you know, I thought something was one way and then, you know, some evidence would come forward and be like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. And then guess what? More evidence will come forward on that same subject, maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, and I would have to change my mind again. We have to be able to roll with it till we find the truth. Okay? And the truth that we see, where it's going to end up, and again, this is how I believe, is where I say, hey, this is the truth, this is what it is. My son's over here saying this is the truth, and it is what it is. Okay? Well, I'm just going to do it like this. I say it's this, right? My son says it's this, but kind of agrees a little bit with what I'm saying. So it kind of looks like this, right? Okay? Then my daughter does the same thing. But she kind of is saying something that my son said and something that I said, but she adds her little twist to it too, right? Okay, so we get one of these. Then my wife comes in. My other son, okay? My other son's here. Okay, then my wife says this, but she's the boss, by the way. But even when she's wrong, she's right? Okay? Anyway, but she comes in here and gives her opinion, and then this is her opinion. Well, guess where the truth's at? Okay? This is me over here. I was wrong on this part. My son was wrong on that part. My daughter was wrong on this part. My other son was wrong on this part. My wife was wrong on this part. But guess what? What's this? This is all truth. Okay? That's truth. Because that's where that overlapped. Alright? So it's going to take all of us. It really will. Okay? But I just wanted to bring that to you guys. I know it went a little longer than I really thought it was going to, but I really wanted to explain that to you and bring that article to you and let you guys know. So, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.